Hello all. The topic of today is constructors in C++. C++ is a language of entities, a language of classes, a language of objects based on that classes. A class contains data members as well as member functions. But constructors play a special role in C++. My topic will cover what is constructor, why we use it and how we use it. The C++ syntax to use a constructor. What are the types of constructors and an example program implementing the concept. By the end of this lecture, you will all know how you can create a constructor for a class, how you can use it. In fact, you will be using multiple constructors in the same class. That will be called as constructor overloading. The concept of what is a constructor? A constructor is a special member function of a class which is used to initialize the data members of the class. Why we call it as special member functions? There are many reasons for the same. First of all, it is used to initiate the object data members with some initial values. Like the primitive data types, a concept of why is supported by the argument that the primitive data types variables we can declare and we can set values at the time of their declaration. Can we do with the same with the objects? Objects are the class variables. They are the user defined data type variables. Can we put an initial value at the time of object creation? The reason is the class should behave as primitive data types. Like primitive data types can be given any initial value at the time of their declaration. Like same are the objects. The constructor will do the purpose. Objects are also class variables. A constructor is a mechanism to set initial value to the class variables. For example, we have taken some example here. You can see the three primitive data type variables are given a value. This is basically initialization of variables. At the time of their declaration, we are putting some initial value. The same we want to achieve with the class variables. The constructor is the answer for the same. We have also taken an example, rectangle rect 10, 20 semicolon. This statement creates rect as an object of the class rectangle, taking two parameters along with. The role of these parameters is to set the length and breadth of the rect object at the time of declaration. This is basically the constructor. How we use it? If you want to use a constructor in the class, you have to keep the same name as that of the class. It is like a function, but it never returns a value. It must be defined in the public section of the class. Why it must be defined in the public section of the class? If you make constructor private, you will not be able to create of the object because it is automatically called when an object is created. The word automatically is important. There is no explicit call to the constructor. It is implicitly called when an object is created. So you have to take care that constructor should be in the public section of the class. If you don't specify a constructor, might be you have done some programs in C++ where you have not used any constructor and you have not seen the constructor, but still constructor was there. C++ compiler generates a default constructor for us. No parameters and no body. It is a default constructor. It is generated by C++ compiler. That means in a program, if we are not specifying or not using a constructor, but compiler is supplying the same thing for us. What are the types of constructors? There are basically three types of the constructors: default constructor, parameterized constructor, and copy constructor. We will see them. A default constructor is a constructor that either has no parameters, or if it has parameters, all the parameters have default values. If no user defined constructor exists for a class and are needed, the compiler automatically gives you a parameterless constructor. So default constructor is basically a constructor when you don't supply any parameters with the time of object creation. They will not accept any parameter. If they accept the parameters, all the parameters will have some default value. That means at the time of object creation, you don't need to specify any value. The object data members will be set with the default values written in the default constructor. There is a general prototype how you see a default constructor. It will be class name, because the rule is same for every constructor. It should have the class name. Because it is default constructor, the parentheses are empty, taking no parameters, and you can write body of the constructor. You can set values of the object data members. Contrast to this, another category exists, that is parameterized constructor. You can pass parameters to the constructor as well. That means the values can be set on runtime also by taking inputs from the user. So how can you pass the parameters? In the previous slide we saw class name and the argument parenthesis was empty. Here we can see a list of arguments as we pass list in the function. Class name, data type, argument 1, argument 2, and so on. The number of arguments you require for the class. So the general prototype will differ in terms of the list of arguments. The list of arguments in the previous slide was empty. In the case of default constructor, there was no parameter list. In the case of the parameterized constructor, there is an argument list. Rest, the purpose of both the constructor is same, to initialize object data members with some values. Another category is copy constructor. Copy constructor, as the name is saying, when you want to create a copy of object, whenever you want to create a copy of object, a copy constructor will come into the picture. It has slight different syntax. Because here we are not putting directly values in the object members, we are creating a copy of the object. That means we should supplement the constructor with an object whose copy is to be created. The same thing we are following here. Class name, the syntax and the prototype is very different. The parenthesis contains object of this class with reference. You have to keep in mind, copy constructors always take object of the class and with reference to the object of the class. Never take pass by value. It only works with pass by reference. There is a reason for it. Why copy constructor has object with reference, not with value, and you can never use it pass by value. You always have to use the pass by reference. Why it is so? A copy constructor is used whenever you want to create the copy of the object. If you will pass object by value, a copy of the object will be created for the parameter. When the copy of the object will be passed to the as a parameter, then again a copy constructor will be called. That means to pass the value, we again will call the copy constructor, which is it itself. It itself is a copy constructor, and for passing the parameter we are calling the copy constructor. So it will go into the infinite thing. It will not create, it will not be running successfully, it will go into the infinite thing. So we have to avoid the pass by value, so that it should not call a copy constructor. We are using pass by reference, and we will always use pass by reference. This is a rule. Here I have programmed a sample problem for the better understanding of the concept told. I am looking for a customer entity. The entity will have customer number and units consumed as the data members, and there is a policy to generate the electricity bill. This is very standard type of problem. First 100 units will take 1.2 rupees per unit. Next 100 units will be charged as 2 rupees per unit, and the above 200 will be charged as 3 rupees per unit. We will take the three data members in the customer class, customer number which is provided, units which are again provided. We will take another attribute of the customer entity or another data member of the customer class, that is bill, which will be computed. That will not be provided by the user, because the target of the program is to generate the bill based on the consumed units. So we will use three type of constructors in this C++ coded program. We will try to use all three types of constructors. So here is my sample program coded. You can see this is a code editor. I'm starting with this is the namespace. Namespace has another purpose in C++. That is another topic, another separate topic. We'll start with the class customer. Customer class has three data members, as already told you. Customer number and units will be provided by the user, and another member I have taken as bill, which will be computed based on the consumed units. Okay, now you can see I have written a public keyword. By writing this, I am starting my public section of the class. This is the default constructor class has. Why it is default? Why it is constructor? Because it has the same name as of class. It is not returning any value. It is not accepting any parameters, so it is default constructor. Because it is not accepting any parameters, we are setting some default values to the data members. I'm not setting up the bill. I'm leaving the bill data member as of now because it is a computed member. It is a computed attribute. So customer, this part is the default constructor taking no parameters, and we are setting the values to as 0. Again, look here, this is parameterized constructor because it is accepting some parameters. Because of the two integer data members, I am passing two integer parameters, one for each, leaving the data member bill behind. We are not setting any initial value to the bill. It can again still will continue to have a garbage value. This is the copy constructor. You can see the parenthesis part is entirely changed. It is accepting a reference to the object of the same class type as a parameter. Why it is taking as reference? Because if we pass by value, it will again call the copy constructor to pass that to copy the value of the parameter into the argument. Then there is another member function declared in the public section of the class, that is display. It is just used to display all the values the class will have. Till now we have not given any value to the bill data member. It is still pending to have a value. From where it will have a value, we will have to calculate the value of bill based on the units consumed. That means user will supply the values of customer number as well as units consumed, and based on the consumed units we will find bill for the particular customer number, right? Policy, I told you in my PPT. What was the policy? First 100 units will be charged as 1.2 rupees per unit. Next 100 units will be charged as 2 rupees per unit, and above that it will be charged as 3 rupees per unit. So if units is less than 100, bill is equals to units into 1.20. This is basically a typical member function written in the public section of the class. Nothing special about it. The code is very easy. We are setting the value of bill. In all three cases, either this will be the case, or this will be the case, or this will be the case. In all three cases, the bill data member is computed. Now the class is ready with all three types of constructors and the function to calculate the bill. So I'm creating objects of the class. Here I created the first object because look at the syntax. What is the difference between the syntax of using three types of constructor? It is cust1 leaving anything, no parenthesis at all. Because of the no parenthesis, because of the absence of the parenthesis, this will going to call the default constructor. Look at the syntax here. I am passing 10 and 39. So because it is containing parameters, the call will go to the parameterized constructor. I have created another object cust3. I want to create a copy of cust2 into cust3. What I am doing is equal to cust2. It entirely has a different syntax because it is creating a copy of a object, customer object. It will automatically call to the copy constructor. So look, the three types of constructors. Call to the three types of constructors. The call is implicit. There is no explicit syntax to call the constructor like you have a syntax in functions. The use of them is different, without parenthesis and values, and passing an object whose copy is to be created. So till the time I have created the objects, all three objects will have values for the two data members, that is customer number as well as units consumed, but not bill, because any constructor does not set a value to bill. How the value of bill will be set? I have to call the calc bill function for each and every object. Cust1, for cust1, if I call calc underscore bill, it will set the value as per the units consumed by customer 1 and set the value of the bill data member, which was till now empty in the program. Same I have to do with the second customer, I have to do with the third customer. Remember one thing, Customer 2 and customer 3 are having same values of customer number and customer and units. Why so? Because we have created customer 3 by using the copy constructor with customer 2. So customer 3 and customer 2 will have the same amount of bill definitely, because their units consumed are same. Till this time we have set the values for the bill parameter also. Now the customer 1 has values in all the parameters, customer 2 is having values on all the parameters, and customer 3 is having all the values in parameter. So we want to display them, we want to see them. I think the program is very clear. We have taken a customer class, we are given two units, two things, customer number and units. Bill is a computed attribute, and we are using all three types of constructor. Default constructor taking no parameters, parameterized constructor taking two parameters, copy constructor taking an reference to the object of the same class. A display function, typical display member function, which is just to use to display the values of the data members of the class. Another is calculate underscore bill. This is for the policy based. This is totally policy based. We told in the PPT we will compute the bill attribute for the calling object. The object will be, which will call this function, it will compute bill for that object. So I think I should run it. I should compile and run it to make you see the output. You can see customer number is 0, units consumed is 0, bill to be paid is 0, customer number is 10, unit consumed 39, bill to be paid is 46.8. Based on the number of units of these 39, the bill is coming to be 46.8. Because of the customer 2 values are same as customer 3 values, so the answer for the customer 3 is same. So I hope all the type of parameters, the use of them and how to use them is very clear. Thank you.